Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Social Media and Local Search, episode 116. Each week we meet to talk about topics of interest which cropped up in the last 7 days, and they're posted on the Social Media and Local Search community on Google+, just only there, that's right. All right, with us tonight we have Edwin Jonk. Edwin is CEO of Autistic in the Netherlands. He's an on-page SEO specialist. And Masataki Wasa is webmaster of wasaweb.net. He's also a Google top contributor on the AdSense community. And Tim Capper is a Google top contributor on the Google My Business community and also CEO of onlineownership.com. He's a conversion rate optimization specialist, proud to call himself an SEO. He's from the UK, just the same as Masataki. You can find Masataki at wasaweb.net, wasaweb.net. You can find Tim at onlineownership.com. You can find Edwin at idesthost.nl, idesthost.nl. And William Rock it can be found on williamrock.com. He's proud to call himself an SEO. He's based in Kansas in the USA. All right, our first question tonight, or our first topic, I should say, relates to a story which appeared on what looked to be a news site, but it turned out to be fake. And it's a reminder to all of us to question everything that we see or read. Anyone had a chance to look at this one? Nobody? Okay, well, look, I can fill it in quickly. Apparently this guy in the story, of course, won the lottery, and he married, according to the article, married a young lady, as people that win lotteries often do. And the young lady, looking through his photo album, noticed that or at least allegedly noticed that the photo of the man's son was identical to the photo of her father. And the man said he didn't see why he should have to break up the marriage. And that was the story. But there are only 2 articles on this news site. But it did cause a bit of a flurry on Twitter, as you can imagine. We're all gullibles. This one, this next topic, Facebook throws down the gauntlet to Gumtree and eBay, and I think it's a real game changer. I don't know what it's like in your local area, but the explosion of buy and sell communities where people are offering goods for sale using the photo options, and they've got together a set of rules to be able to self-regulate. So Facebook has picked up on this, and they're going to make purpose-built marketplaces. And yeah, I think it'll be a real winner. Some people say that it won't work because people don't like to buy directly on social media, but I think that's more true of business to consumer rather than these sort of sales are generally friend to friend or neighbour to neighbour. Yeah. Anybody have a chance with this one?
Well, Facebook's doing a lot more advertising, or not Facebook, but the opportunity for businesses to actually take advantage of quality advertising on Facebook is actually done very well. So I could see them actually going into that direction, putting that buy, you can already put your shopping or your feed into that platform already to buy now, but we've already seen that with all the other opportunities on Google where you have the opportunity to buy now from the Google store. So I think it could open up a lot of opportunity.
Yep. Anybody else? Okay, let's move on to the next. And the next is, this was interesting. The primary person behind Minecraft, who also apparently is a lurker on 4chan, was thinking of buying it. You may have heard that 4chan is running out of cash, burning money, and don't know if they'll be able to keep the servers operational. Notch is the nickname of the principal for Minecraft, and he made an approach to see if he could buy 4chan. Changed his mind, and as 4chan often does, surrounded him like a swarm. Anybody comment on this one? Hi, David Roseanne.
Hi. Sorry about the lateness. I've been otherwise engaged, but I have turned up anyway.
That's all right.
I know nothing about this, so I can't comment.
Okay. David is the oldest man in SEO. He can be found at writingforseo.org. All right. No comments on Notch. Let's move on. We'll tweet that and move it right along. I've already sent that. Okay.
Yep.
Masataki posted this one. Instagram star Christopher Serrano dies subway surfing in New York. Masataki said, what risks would you take to be a social media star or startup, is it?
No, I was meant to say star.
Subway surfing, that's the thing where they jump on the roof of the train, yeah?
Yes. As far as I'm aware. I haven't done it. I haven't seen anyone do it, but I believe that's the case. So it's inherently a risky thing to do. You're clinging on, I suppose, or surfing on a moving train. And I think he was known to take images from many different angles, some of which involved quite a lot of risk, reaching that vantage point. And in a sense that he took one too many risks, I suppose. And that had a fatal consequence.
Yeah, that's very sad.
And I don't know, I think people are taking selfies in dangerous places so that they can post on social media. So I think it's symbolic of the amount of risks that many people now seem to take in order to capture something on their camera phone or using camera and put those images on social media. And I think that it's a problem that's going to remain with us for the foreseeable future. And it'd be interesting to know what can be done to reduce the risks. How do we deal with that? Do we try to educate people? Do we try to ban people from going to certain places? What can be done to reduce those risks?
Yeah, well, I saw a clip the other day in China. There was a bit of a storm surge. huge wave, and all the people were putting themselves in danger just to get a snap of it. And they probably ended up floating down the road in floodwater, and of course that would have blitzed their cameras, and they would have lost the selfie anyway. Speaking of dangerous things, I see Tim Capper did a selfie. He had his arm around William Rock. There's trouble. All right.
Well, I think John Mueller also commented on that, thinking, hey, what's going on here? Something's, what are these people cooking up?
This is not something new, right? People do all crazy things.
Edwin, for some reason you've been muted.
I didn't do it. Wasn't me.
I don't know. But people do all crazy things to be in the newspapers or on television.
Yeah,
as far as I know, here in the Netherlands, it is forbidden to subway surfing, and there's a good reason for it.
I don't think it's allowed in the States either.
No, I don't think so either.
But I think there have been people chasing storms, right? Storm chasers have been around for a very long time. There are adrenaline junkies, people who go to do extreme things and excited about it and feel fulfilled. But I think the issue is that more and more people are doing it because more and more people have the equipment, i.e. a smartphone with a decent camera, and incentive, put them on Instagram or other social media. And for that reason, in a sense that there are more and more people who may not be good at estimating or assessing risks. So if you are a storm chaser, in inverted commas, professional storm chasers, then you would know when to turn back. But if you don't know how to assess risks, you might be tempted to go, oh, I want to get that picture in. I just need to do one more thing. I need to take one more step. And that step could be fatal. And I think unfortunately, I think we're going to see more instances of people taking too much risk and being killed or maimed.
I don't know. I don't know if more people, maybe the world is just getting dumber.
No, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think I think in a sense the proportion of people, if you like, the relative number of people who like to take risks, I think always exists, and they're probably stable. They're risk takers in life. They're people who are risk averse. I don't think there's a dramatic shift, but I think that in a sense at the edges where people who may not have had the opportunity to take risks, but who are risk takers, are now taking those unnecessary risks and exposing themselves to danger.
Is Jim skydiving?
All right, let's move on to the next. It's too depressing. Look, I saw this on Facebook today. It was brilliant. And you guys probably haven't seen it. Click the link on your run list, and it'll take you to one of those Facebook Live videos on Facebook, and it was Mark Zuckerberg cooking a barbecue. Now, everybody loves to barbecue, and what a real connection he would have made with literally hundreds of thousands of people. And I thought the contrived way that Google tried to manipulate Google Plus, like Eric Schmidt having a secretary to make posts and trite posts and so on. And it just shows why Facebook eventually won that battle over Google Plus, doesn't it? Well, it does to me anyway. Maybe it's just me.
I think the interesting thing, though, is that the brand is so tightly connected to a person. The Facebook is Zuckerberg. So that's both, I think, a blessing and a possible danger.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's just such a thing that it's just an instant connection. I mean, Tim Capper even posted his barbecue spot. Anyway,
well, one thing I did notice, Jim, though, is when they actually did go live, everybody, including at least my phone went off and said Mark Zuckerberg's live right now, and so you could easily tune in to his barbecue. Imagine the mass amount of people that he actually touched with just saying, that one notification that he's live and broadcasting. That's enormous. It was just that app that's installed on everybody's phone.
Yeah, I wonder what that cost him in terms of the interconnection fees for the phone calls, for the text messages, I should say.
Well, it's not really a text message. It's actually when you have the Facebook app installed. When you have a Facebook app installed, basically it's just going to actually pop up when some of your friends are live. So anybody that's in your friends list will actually show that little notification on their screen. So it's not really a text message, just a notification from the app. And then you can click on it, and then it goes live to, like I clicked on it temporarily, went into it, and saw him having a barbecue. So I didn't watch much more of that, but I was into something else at the time. So, but a neat feature.
All right. Any other comments on this one before we move along? Okay. This one it came out of Australia, and so what happened was that this young fellow, who turned out to be autistic, was high-fiving some young Asian women on a tram, and this woman photographed him, and it just goes to show. I mean, that the guy was engaged in a perfectly harmless pursuit, and I suppose high-fiving people on a tram is not the normal thing, although I suppose I can imagine David Roseanne wandering down a tram, high-fiving all and sundry.
I find people find it enjoyable, a way of getting out of their shells that we Brits sit in public.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
Well, you are the mad person talking on the train.
Yes, I am.
Anyway, this young lady, her misunderstanding was so powerful that it caused threats of violence towards the guy. He was documented, who he was, where he lived. Unfortunately, some of the docs didn't point out that he was autistic. It could have turned out badly. It didn't, but it could have, and so that's why the title "With Power comes responsibility. I mean, social media is incredibly powerful, but if we're going to start campaigns against people, at least we should get the facts right, get the story right. Don't over-inflate the issue. Rob in the chat says, why would an autistic man start high-fiving? It doesn't sound very autistic. Well, why not? Any comments? I think that's all we have for today. I'll just tweet this one and we'll move on. Yep, it is. It's thank you for watching. And we had one viewer that stuck with us all the way through tonight. Thank you, Gary. Anyway, we'd like to invite you to join us again next week. We'll be back next week to do the same thing all over again. But for now, it's good night and